Good morning. I am Karen Paulette, Director of Marshfield Veterans Services. We welcome you to the town of Marshfield's Memorial Day ceremony. We thank you for taking the time to come together to make this event worthy of the honor and respect that are deserved by our fallen veterans. We know life is hectic. Our days are filled with family, obligations, sports, work, and other commitments. Although we are busy, we must never forget the ultimate sacrifice our veterans have made in service to our country. And your presence here today is proof of that. Marshfield will never forget. Thank you. At this time, if you are not in uniform, please place your hand over your heart for the playing of our national anthem performed by our Marshfield High School band. Veterans group, attention, about face. Church. Please remove your headgear.
I invite you to join me as you're comfortable as we pray. Gracious God, on this day in which we remember all who have given their lives in service of this country, all who have selflessly sacrificed for friends and strangers alike, we also remember all who have silently suffered. Help us to honor all who have served with our continued respect and appreciation, and to support them with as much devotion as they have shown their country. May we push back against those things that divide us, constantly work towards a more perfect union, towards peace in our world, and never cease to appreciate the sacrifices made for our freedom. As we say together.
Thank you, Pastor Huber, for joining us today. Now, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, led by our Assistant Veterans Agent, Lisa Potts, daughter of World War II veteran George Pirelli, who fought in the war in Normandy, and proud mother of Army Second Lieutenant Hayden Potts.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It is now my pleasure to introduce our Grand Marshal of this year's Memorial Day Parade, Mr. Arnie Briggs. Stay right there, don't you go anywhere. Turn around. There we go. Here's my friend. So, Arnie, along with his wife Marsha, have been Marshfield residents for 57 years. He served in the Marine Corps from 1964 to 1967 at Marine Corps Air Station Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, and obtained the rank of sergeant. After he got out of the Marines, he served our town in many capacities, volunteering with the Scouts, Marshfield School Committee, Marshfield Community Television Board of Directors, as well as hosting many Marshfield TV shows. He was also the campaign manager for various local Marshfield candidates. Arnie still serves our community today as junior commander of the Marshfield Korean War veterans. Let's give one more round of applause for Arnie Briggs. Thank you, Arnie, for the service to our country. I would now like to acknowledge the following individuals and their organizations in appreciation for the continued support of our veterans in our office. From our Marshfield Veterans Organizations, Commander, DAV Chapter 35, Jamie Ducey. DAV Auxiliary Unit Commander 35, Nikki Sacido. Commander, American Legion Post 88, Barney Dowd. Commander, VFW Post 8345, Larry Sweeney. Commander, Korean War Veterans Association Loeb Ferris Chapter, Phil Drozdick. Commander of the AMVETS, Jim Bennett. And our town's Graves Officer, Ed Timlin. Also present with us today is the Registrar of Probate, Mac McDonough, the Marshfield Select Board, Chairman James Kilcoyne, Vice Chair Lynn Fiddler, Clerk Steve Darcy, and our Town Administrator, Michael Moresco. We would also like to take a moment to recognize the Board of Trustees for our Veterans Memorial Park. Chairman Ed Sullivan, Vice Chair Ed Timlin, William Chiano, Heather White, Janine Vaughn, and the caretaker of Veterans Memorial Park, Carmine Bruno. Please give them a round of applause for all their work keeping this park look so beautiful. At this time, please welcome Chairman of the Marshfield Select Board, Jim Kilcoyne.
Wow, what a beautiful day it is today. Not normal, Memorial Day is raining, so thank you all for coming out. I want to thank Karen and Lisa and anyone involved for working so hard to make this day a success. And recognize our Grand Marshal, a longtime resident, Artie Briggs. This weekend, many will spend time with close friends and family. It's a nice time of year, full of promise for the summer. Between barbecues and the beach, it's sometimes easy to lose sight of the true meaning behind the Memorial Day holiday. A day set aside to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice, allowing us the freedoms that we hold so dear today. The observance was originally known as Decoration Day. And in the mid-1860s, many Americans began hosting tributes to the war's fallen soldiers by decorating their graves. No one is sure when the name morphed into Memorial Day, but it gradually happened. In 1968, Congress passed the Uniform Monday Holiday Act, which established Memorial Day date as we know it today. This is not Veterans Day. This is not a celebratory day. This is a day of solemn contemplation over the cost of freedom. A day we may pay homage to all those who did not come home. Because without memory, there is no culture. Without memory, there will be no civilization, no future, and as John Fitzgerald Kennedy said, as we express our gratitude, we must never forget the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. At this time, please welcome Army veteran Jamie Curran. Jamie was deployed to Kuwait and Iraq in support of Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom from 2003 to 2004.
Good morning. I am so grateful today that I was invited to be with the members of the Marshfield community and fellow veterans of the country's armed forces. A special thanks to Karen Paulette, the Director of Veteran Services, and her staff for putting this ceremony together, as well as all of you who have contributed. Today, we are not only here as a community, but as a nation as well, sharing with millions of other Americans the feelings of happiness, sadness, and gratefulness. The feeling of knowing that there are men and women in the armed forces at this very moment that are sacrificing their lives for all of us here today. Let us remember their bravery each and every day. Duty, honor, the country, they lived for it, and they died for it. As a nation, we must remind ourselves of the future they fought for us and do our best to live up to those values in the days ahead. On Memorial Day, we're thankful for those who gave their lives while serving. Today is a personal remembrance to me, as some of those brave men and women who have died I served with during the war in Iraq. And on behalf of their families, they thank you for remembering their loved ones who are not with them today. Let's keep those families in our thoughts and prayers each and every day. Again, thank you for inviting me to be part of this ceremony. God bless those deployed today in harm's way for providing us with the opportunity to enjoy this beautiful day in our great nation. God bless us through these challenging times, and God bless each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Now please welcome Paula Brum, surviving spouse of Vietnam veteran John Brum.
As the spouse of a veteran, I too am grateful for your presence. So often we don't know how important presence, words, or actions affect another person. My father, brother, and husband were veterans, but as the wife of a veteran, I truly came to understand just how important it is that we recognize and give our military support and recognition for their service. Standing here in our beautiful Veterans Park, I am given solace and comfort in the serenity it offers. Although Memorial Day is a federal holiday in the United States for honoring and mourning the military personnel who died in the United States Armed Forces, it has also become a day to remember all veterans. Many carry lifelong memories, injuries, and injuries that are a result of their service time. Each veteran comes with a family who loves and supports them, and who sees their struggles that they may have had as a result of having served. When you honor them, we take pride in them and are grateful for your kindness. I'm going to skip a few paragraphs so I don't go too long. But I don't know if any of you remember the Vietnam Veteran Memorial that came to the plaza in Pembroke about 30 years ago. And when my husband first went to that with our young son at the time, he broke down, and the veterans had to call me to come and get him. The memories of what happened to him in Vietnam were that poignant for him, and it was very difficult for him. He never could go to the one in D.C. He just stood at it and looked at it from afar. So I learned how to support veterans and how to recognize that they are living with something that we cannot understand. Several years ago, we decided to take a trip to follow the Civil War battlefields, and we started at West Point. And when the first guide asked the veterans to raise their hand, my husband did not raise his hand. I pushed his hand up. And he was thanked for his service, and that was the first time he was recognized for what he had given. He came home without any insignia on his uniform because it was not considered politically correct to come home from Vietnam. And when my son looked at his uniform last year when we were burying him a year ago this Memorial Day, he couldn't understand why there were no insignias on his uniform. and it's because he had to take them off to come through the airport. So it's very important, and I'm obviously off track here, but it's very important for us to remember, and to remember the families, because we've watched our loved ones through the years, and we've learned how to support them. John was buried in our national cemetery on the original Memorial Day, May 31st last year. I can't imagine how he felt when he came home from the service. But I can tell you that he would have been very glad to see all of you here today, and that it is important to share your stories. It's important to let your young ones know that everybody who has been in the service gave a commitment of their life, not knowing what was going to happen. So as you stand here and pay tribute for all these American heroes, I give you thanks for honoring all veterans. Continue to recognize the importance of their contribution and to pass on our memories to future generations. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. At this time, I would like to call up the members of the Casale family.
Private First Class Joseph Casale Sr. served in World War II in the 28th Infantry Division in the year of 1945. Joseph's brother Armand also served, but sadly he did not return home. In honor of his brother, Joseph named his son Armand after him. Through the years, Joseph and his Army buddies would meet for an annual cookout where they could reminisce and talk about their service. As time passed, the group grew smaller until Joseph was the only one left. Joseph was proud of his service and was just as proud when his grandson Jeff joined the Army. For his service in World War II, Joseph was awarded the Army Training Ribbon, the World War II Victory Medal, the European African Middle Eastern Campaign Ribbon, the Good Conduct Medal, and the Bronze Star Medal. Unfortunately, he was unable to attend the unit award ceremony for his Bronze Star. It was never sent to him. Joseph passed away in 2010, and he had never received his Bronze Star Medal. So today, we present this medal, the Bronze Star, in honor of Joseph Casale Sr. to his grandson Jeff and his great-grandsons Christian and Kyle. We are forever grateful for his service and also for his brother's service and sacrifice to our country.
We will now read the names of Marshfield service members who laid down their lives in service to our country, followed by a 21-gun salute and taps, at which time uniformed military members will render a salute and all others should place a hand over your heart. World War II names will be read by VFW Commander Major Larry Sweeney.
In memory of veterans of the Second World War: Martin L. Baker, Raymond E. Bourne, Thomas E. Johnson, Burton Peterson, Richard N. Peterson, Norman H. Randall, Walton K. Rogers, Wilford Young, Jr.
Korean War names will be read by Ed Timlin.
In memory of veterans of Korea: Alfred Lopes Jr., Ronald Ferris, and Mark Erickson.
Vietnam War names will be read by Jim Bennett.
Memory of the veterans of Vietnam: John A. Berrio, William A. Cockshaw, Ronald P. Daly, Edward T. Ned Egan Jr., James W. Mailer, Richard Olson.
Thank you, Jim. Veterans group. Attention. Out, please. Freeze it. Order. Arms. About. Peace. We are grateful for those who work diligently behind the scenes to help us make this day a success. Gilly Kent for setting up the park, Art DPW for placing the flags on the poles, Brian McPhee and Joe Klein for the sound system. They do every single ceremony we have without fail. Marshfield High School Band Director Dave Kaminsky and the Marshfield High School Band with buglers Chris Balboni and Joshua Panagrossi. Many thanks to our faithful color guard and firing party who are always ready to go even before we ask. We thank police and fire for always ensuring the safety of our veterans and our residents on this day. Our media friends at WATD, WMEX, and MCTV. And our town administrator and select board for their unwavering support to our office. We thank each of you, the residents, who took the time to come to today's parade and ceremony. We will now end our ceremony with God Bless America, sung by Alyssa Budd, Vivian Henderson, Toby Mehmet, and Alex Robinson.
The sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam, God bless America, my home, sweet home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
We hope today's ceremony will keep the memories of our departed comrades alive in your hearts and minds. The DAV is hosting a lunch for all the participants of the parade and ceremony. They are located at 108 Dyke Road here in Marshfield. And this concludes our ceremony. We thank you all for attending. This is wonderful. Thank you very much for supporting our veterans. Have a great day.